Alright, everyone. I'm just going to make a very quick video. Well, currently I'm still working on my Heaven's Arena Green Island video, but I decided to make this little quick bonus video in the meantime. So recently we had a photo that surfaced first on Instagram where we finally got to see the GOAT, the king, the greatest writer of all time, the greatest mangaka to walk the earth, king of shonen, king of storytelling, master of masters, the king of kings, Yoshihiro Togashi, Yoshihiro Togochi, the greatest mangaka of all time. We got to see him, I'd say, ever since 2012. The last recent image I believe, either besides the one where he's throwing gang signs with whoever those three people were, is the image where he's literally holding volume 32, and that would be all the way back in 2012. So the GOAT looked healthy. I decided to be a little bit cheeky, and I made a post, quote retweeted with my own image, replacing Togashi with a literal goat with a crown on top of its head. And I said, "This is what I see." A few people didn't take kindly to it because they misconstrued the intent of my post, thinking that I was slandering the two women besides Togashi. Now, and then they pretty much made it a point that, oh, you wouldn't think this hard if you understood the impact and how big those two were. Then you wouldn't really call Togashi the GOAT. Here's the thing. Me wanting to call Togashi the GOAT isn't really meant to be a slight towards these two other women and what they accomplished. I'm just calling it. Goats can coexist. First off, goats can coexist. That's the first thing. I think we can all agree on that. Of course, there's different echelons to be to a goat. But we don't look at influence. Influence doesn't matter. Writing wise, Succession War alone is better than anything in Sailor Moon. It's better than anything that other woman in between them has ever produced. Granted, that's not really a slight, nor is it disrespect, because Succession War is quite literally vastly superior to Chimera Ant Arc, and most of these people can't even write anything to match the level of Chimera Ant Arc. Succession War is better than any arc on the planet. It's the greatest piece of fiction ever put to page. This is factual, not an opinion. The last 10 chapters proved it. People were salivating. They were drooling over these 10 chapters. They were locked in more than any other series. They were discussing it. People were moving different. Those 10 chapters proved what I've been saying since 2018 consistently. So first off, that alone shows that he's the GOAT. So I don't know, but so they said, oh well, Sailor Moon's one of the biggest series of all time, and fine, sure. I concur. I agree. But here's the thing. Michael Jordan, Mr. 23 himself, so eloquently and beautifully stated, something about 5 is bigger than 3. In what realm of mathematics is 1 bigger than 2? Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter exist. Stop it. Without Togashi, Bleach wouldn't exist. Naruto wouldn't exist. And without Naruto, Black Clover and My Hero wouldn't exist. JJK wouldn't exist. World Trigger wouldn't exist. Flame of Recca wouldn't even exist. And that was hella influenced by Dark Tournament. And guess what? Most of those series I mentioned are all far bigger than Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon's only reach and grasp is in the magical girl genre. And even then, I won't even say so. Well, best shoujo of all time is debatable. Personally, I'd say it's Rosa Versailles. To me, that's my GOAT shoujo. To me, it's the most influential, one of the best shoujo. Grand shoujo, like there's many ebbs and there's many forms of it. We can proudly say definitively that it is the most magical, the most influential in the magical girl genre. But that's the extent of it. It doesn't go beyond that. Whereas Togashi, without Togashi, most of shonen would not exist. This is a fact, not an opinion. Therefore, by that logic, Togashi has far more influence than Naoko will ever have. And on top of that, who even cares about influence? Because Togashi Succession War literally exists. He's a far superior writer. He has far greater influence. And to discuss about the woman in between them, let's be real here. No one from the West really knows about her stuff. Only Japanese people. Besides that, maybe people who really like who go out of their way to watch that or like do the research or whatever. But let's be real here. Is any of her stuff bigger than Bleach? Is any of her stuff as culturally and globally popular as Naruto? Is any of her stuff as big as JJK? Is any of her stuff as big as Black Clover? Is any of her stuff as big as My Hero? No. End of discussion. Togashi, once again, proving that he is the greatest writer. Succession War exists. Chimera Ant, all of these other writers can't even contest with Chimera Ant. And Togashi has casually surpassed Chimera Ant time and time again since 2018. This is a fact, not an opinion. And he has more influence. I literally proved it and stated it. Thank you.